Right now, in this very moment, look at the life you have built. By the standards of history, you are living in a utopia. You likely have a roof over your head, a device in your hand that connects you to the sum of human knowledge and climate control that keeps you safe from the elements. You have comforts that the emperors and kings of the ancient world could not have dreamed of, let alone possessed. You are safe. You are fed. You are entertained. And yet, if you are honest with yourself, you are probably exhausted. This is not the exhaustion of a day spent plowing fields or hunting for survival. It is a heavier, deeper, more insidious kind of fatigue. It is a weariness of the soul. You feel a low-level hum of anxiety that never quite goes away, a sense of being constantly rushed yet never arriving anywhere. You are surrounded by abundance, yet you feel a gnawing sense of scarcity, a feeling that you are not enough, that you are not doing enough, that you are falling behind. You chase the next promotion, the next purchase, the next hit of dopamine from a screen, convinced that once you attain it, you will finally feel the peace you crave. But when you get there, the satisfaction fades in minutes, dissolving like sugar in hot water, and you are left exactly where you started, wanting more. This is the great paradox of our time. We have engineered a world dedicated to the elimination of discomfort. We have insured ourselves against risk, anesthetized ourselves against pain, and distracted ourselves from boredom. We view comfort as the ultimate good and inconvenience as the ultimate evil. Yet in this relentless pursuit of ease, we have not become happier. We have become fragile. We have built a padded cell for ourselves and locked the door from the inside. We are trapped in a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, running endlessly on a treadmill where the scenery never changes and the destination never gets closer. You must understand that this is not entirely your fault, but it is your reality. Your biology and your society have conspired to keep you in this invisible cage. Your brain was designed for a world of scarcity and immediate physical danger, a world where calorie-dense food was rare and predators were real. In that world, seeking comfort and avoiding pain were matters of survival. But today, those same instincts have been hijacked. You are not stressing over a lion in the tall grass. You are dumping stress hormones into your bloodstream because of an email, a traffic jam, or a glance from a stranger. Your body treats social disapproval or financial uncertainty as a mortal threat, engaging a fight or flight response that has nowhere to go. You are revving an engine in neutral, burning yourself out without moving an inch. Furthermore, you live in a society that has weaponized your natural drive for growth. We have moved from a culture of discipline where we were told what we could not do, to a culture of achievement where we are told we can do everything. It sounds like freedom, but it is a trap. The command "you can" creates a pressure far more crushing than the command "you must." When you are your own master, you are also your own slave driver. You exploit yourself willingly, believing that if you just work harder, optimize more, and maximize your potential, you will be validated. You view rest as a moral failing and silence as a threat. You fill every gap in your day with noise and stimulation because you are terrified of what you might hear if the noise stopped. You are terrified of facing the emptiness of a life spent chasing things that do not matter. This addiction to comfort and validation has made you soft. It has atrophied your spirit. Because you rarely face genuine physical hardship, your threshold for suffering has dropped so low that minor inconveniences feel like tragedies. A slow internet connection, a rude comment, a delayed order. These trivialities ruin your day because you have lost the perspective that only struggle can provide. You have become like a person who has spent years in a sterile room. When you finally step outside, even a gentle breeze feels like a storm. You are terrified of the unknown, terrified of failure, and terrified of pain, not realizing that your fear of these things is exactly what is giving them power over you. We mistakenly believe that freedom means having the ability to do whatever we want, whenever we want, with zero resistance. We think freedom is the absence of struggle. But true freedom is not found in the removal of difficulty. It is found in the mastery of it. When you are dependent on external things to make you feel good, when you need the temperature to be just right, the people to be nice, and the bank account to be full in order to feel at peace, you are not free. You are a slave to your circumstances. You are a puppet, and the world holds the strings. If the world decides to give you what you want, you are happy. If it pulls the string of adversity, you are miserable. You have handed over the keys to your emotional life to forces completely outside your control. The path to breaking out of this cage is counterintuitive. It does not lie in seeking more comfort, but in voluntarily choosing discomfort. It requires you to step off the treadmill, to stop fleeing from the difficult, and to turn around and face it. It requires you to reclaim the agency you have lost by realizing that while you cannot control what happens to you, you have absolute power over how you respond. There is a strength dormant within you, a resilience that has been buried under layers of convenience and cheap pleasure. It is waiting to be engaged. But to find it, you must be willing to do the one thing modern life has conditioned you to avoid at all costs. You must choose to suffer a little, so that you may live a lot. To regain your freedom, you must first accept a hard truth. You have been trying to control the wrong things. You spend your days obsessing over the opinions of strangers, the fluctuations of the economy, the traffic on your commute, and the moods of the people around you. You exhaust your energy trying to bend the world to your will, trying to smooth out every rough edge of reality so that you might pass through it without a scratch. But this is a fool's errand. The world is vast, chaotic, and utterly indifferent to your comfort. Trying to control the external world is like trying to flatten the waves of the ocean with your bare hands. Not only will you fail, but you will drown in the process. The ancient philosophers understood that there's only one true domain of control, and it is entirely internal. Imagine drawing a circle around your feet. Everything outside that circle, your reputation, your bank account, your health, the political state of the world, is ultimately subject to fate. You can influence these things, yes, but you cannot dictate them. A storm can destroy your home, a thief can steal your wealth, and a rumor can ruin your name. If you tie your happiness to these things, you are building your house on sand. You are making yourself a hostage to fortune, trembling at every shift in the wind, because you have placed your peace of mind in the hands of forces that do not care about you. However, everything inside that circle is yours. Your judgments, your desires, your aversions, and most importantly, your refusal to be broken by what happens to you. This is the inner citadel that no tyrant can breach, and no disaster can destroy. The path to becoming unbreakable begins when you withdraw your emotional investment from the things outside the circle and pour all of it into the things inside. This is not a retreat from the world. It is a realignment of your power. It is the realization that while you cannot choose the script of your life, you can choose how you play the role. You can choose to play it with dignity, with courage, and with a refusal to complain, regardless of whether the scene is a tragedy or a triumph. But knowing this intellectually is not enough. You cannot think your way into resilience. You must act your way into it. You must retrain your nervous system. In a world that is constantly selling you ease, you must become a person who actively seeks out resistance. You must engage in what the ancients called voluntary discomfort. This is not masochism, it is training. Just as a soldier drills for battle in times of peace, you must drill for the hardships of life while you are still comfortable. Why would you do this? Why would you sleep on the floor when you have a bed? Why would you take a cold shower when you have hot water? Why would you fast when the refrigerator is full? You do it to break the chain of dependence. You do it to prove to yourself that you do not need these comforts to survive or even to be happy. When you voluntarily expose yourself to cold, hunger, or fatigue, you strip away the fear that these things hold over you. You realize that the discomfort is temporary, that it is survivable, and that your mind remains intact even when your body is shivering or hungry. You are inoculating yourself against misfortune. If you have already practiced poverty, losing your job will not terrify you. If you have practiced hardship, a sudden crisis will not paralyze you. You will have been there before. You will look at the chaos and say, I know this place. I can survive this. This practice changes your biology. Modern science tells us that the brain is plastic. It rewires itself based on what we do. If you spend your life avoiding difficulty, your brain learns that difficulty is a threat to be feared. Your tolerance for stress shrinks and your anxiety spikes at the slightest challenge. But when you lean into discomfort, when you voluntarily engage with the difficult, you trigger a process of growth. You expand your capacity to handle stress. You move from a state of fragility to a state of anti-fragility. You become a system that gets stronger when it is struck. Consider the metaphor of fire. A small candle is fragile. A gust of wind will extinguish it. But a roaring bonfire is different. If you throw a log into a bonfire, it does not put the fire out. The fire consumes the log and burns brighter. The obstacle becomes fuel. This is the mindset you must cultivate. When you are truly strong, you do not just tolerate adversity, you use it. The rude colleague becomes an opportunity to practice patience. The financial setback becomes a chance to practice resourcefulness. The physical injury becomes a lesson in endurance. You stop asking for the world to be easier and start asking for yourself to be stronger. You stop seeing obstacles as things that block your path and start seeing them as the path itself. This shift in perspective allows you to enter a state of flow with life. Instead of rigidly holding on to how you think things should be, you accept them as they are and work with them. You become like water, adaptable, fluid, yet powerful enough to carve through stone over time. You stop wasting your energy on anger and resentment, which are nothing more than the tantrums of a mind refusing to accept reality. Instead, you focus entirely on the present moment and the action right in front of you. You do not worry about the outcome, because the outcome is outside your circle of control. You worry only about the effort, the intention, and the quality of your character in this specific second. This is the ultimate freedom. It is the freedom from the slavery of your own impulses and the tyranny of external events. It is the quiet confidence of a person who knows that they can lose everything they possess and still not lose themselves. It is the realization that the good life is not found in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of the strength to meet it. You are capable of this strength. It is woven into your DNA, passed down by ancestors who survived ice ages and plagues and wars. It is sleeping inside you, buried under the soft cushions of modern convenience. Wake it up. But physical endurance is only half the battle. You can train your body to withstand the cold and the hunger, but if your mind remains fragile, the first blow of true misfortune will shatter you. To become truly unbreakable, you must venture into the darkest corners of your own imagination. You must engage in a practice that feels entirely unnatural to the modern mind, which is obsessed with positive thinking and manifest destiny. You must deliberately visualize the very things you fear most. Most people move through life wearing blinders, desperately hoping that if they ignore the possibility of tragedy, it will pass them by. They believe that thinking about misfortune invites it, so they live in a fragile bubble of optimism. When disaster inevitably strikes, when the relationship ends, when the diagnosis comes, when the market crashes, they are devastated not just by the event itself, but by the shock of it. They feel betrayed by the universe because they believed they were promised a smooth ride. You must take a different path. You must strip away the element of surprise, for it is surprise that gives misfortune its heaviest weight. In the quiet of your morning, take a moment to close your eyes and vividly imagine the loss of what you hold most dear. Visualize the job being taken away. Imagine the bank account draining to zero. Imagine the people you love leaving or passing away. This is not an exercise in morbidity or pessimism. It is an exercise in immunization. By exposing yourself to these fears in the safety of your own mind, you rob them of their power to paralyze you. You realize that even in the worst-case scenario, you would still be standing. You would still have your character. You would still have your ability to reason and to choose. You look at the monster in the closet and realize it is just a shadow. When you have already walked through the fire in your mind, the sparks of daily life can no longer burn you. This mental preparation allows you to perform a kind of alchemy on the events of your life. When you stop demanding that reality conform to your wishes, you gain the power to use whatever reality gives you. This is the secret of the truly great souls of history. They did not succeed despite their obstacles. They succeeded because of them. Imagine a path blocked by a massive boulder. The ordinary traveler stops, complains, and turns back, defeated by the impediment. But the master traveler sees the boulder differently. If they cannot go over it, they go under it. If they cannot go under it, they go around it. And if they cannot move it, they stand on top of it to see the view. The boulder, which was an obstacle to the path, becomes the path. This applies to every single difficulty you face. If you are passed over for a promotion, it is not a failure. It is an opportunity to practice humility or to reassess your path. If you are insulted, it is not a humiliation. It is a chance to practice patience and self-control. If you fall ill, it is a moment to practice endurance and to cultivate the quiet strength of the spirit. There is no set of circumstances that can prevent you from being virtuous. In fact, difficult circumstances are the only laboratory in which virtue can be forged. You cannot practice courage without danger. You cannot practice temperance without temptation. You cannot practice resilience without a heavy load. When you understand this, you stop resenting the difficulties in your life and start seeing them as the raw material for your own greatness. You stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "This is what I have been training for." This shift in perspective leads you inevitably to the ultimate test, the final discomfort that modern society spends billions of dollars trying to hide, the reality of your own mortality. We live in a culture of eternal youth, where death is viewed as a failure of medicine or a distant rumor that happens to other people. We warehouse the elderly and hide away the natural aging process because looking at the end terrifies us. It reminds us that our time is finite and that our accumulation of toys and status is ultimately futile. But you must not look away. You must keep the reality of the end right in front of your eyes. Not to depress yourself, but to awaken yourself. When you truly grasp that your time here is limited, that this heart beating in your chest has a limited number of beats left, and that you do not know when the last one will come, it clarifies everything. It burns away the trivial. You suddenly realize that you do not have time to hold grudges. You do not have time to worry about what your neighbors think of your car. You do not have time to be afraid of embarrassment. The awareness of our end is the context that gives life its meaning. Without the deadline, the project has no urgency. By accepting your mortality, by consulting it daily, you are liberated to live fully in the present. You stop delaying your life for retirement that may never come. You stop saving your best self for a future date. You live with intensity and purpose now because you know that now is the only thing you have. You realize that you are like a